Well, here comes Terry Haddock.
A little sideways there.
And Tony Schumacher. Funny cars coming up. Let's go to John Kernan.
And Paul, I'm back in the staging lanes with Bob Taskett III, getting ready to take on Ashley Forrest Hood. And we've seen a lot of trouble getting down the track for the top fuelers. You are aware of what's going on out there, Bob. So how do you prepare for that? Do you look at a potential pedal fest?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you hear these fuel cars smoking the tires in both lanes, it's not really a lane choice deal. So as a driver, you just got to do your deal. We drive these cars by feel. And when you got 5.5 G's on you, when you hit the throttle, you know when it's smoking the tire. So catching it is the easy part. Rolling back in is the trickier part, but this BoardParts.com car will be okay.
Thanks.
Well, as we take a look at Tony Schumacher, let's look at Haddock's burnout.
Now, this was not a picture-perfect burnout here. You see the back end start to wash out, and he was trying to get his tracks more towards the middle as he's trying to make the correction. And then the back end just washed out when he lets off of the throttle. But take a look at the tire tracks from the burnout right here going all the way across. Not what you want to do.
Terry Haddock, former IHRA champion, and do not forget, he did take Schumacher out in first round a year ago at Chicago.
Oh, he almost did it again.
Oh! Well, it's the Schumacher win light, but 464, 216. I really thought Haddock was going to do it again.
If his engine hadn't expired before the finish line, he would have, because Tony, I mean, he was pretty much done with that tire smoke, because Terry Haddock, right side of your screen, had the momentum, but just didn't have the engine that would stay together all the way to the finish line. He had a cylinder out early, just like Terry McMillan. The thing quit just past half track, and that allowed Tony Schumacher in the far lane to drive around, even though he spun the tires right there. Look at Tony, don't give up. Never give up until you know you can't win or until you get to the stripe. Whichever happens first, Tony did a perfect job to advance him into the second round. We take one more look at it. I was like you, Paul. I thought Terry Haddock had this thing, because right there you see the smoke from Tony. Tony's trying to get that thing to recover. Cylinder out on Haddock's car. That's not a problem. 7 cylinders. If it would have went to the finish line, he still would have been able to beat Tony, but the engine expired shortly after the cylinder went out, and that allowed Tony to get the win.
Oh, what a top fuel session. The last pair is now down. Tony Schumacher is probably breathing a little hard. Terry Haddock almost had him.